Okay, so here's my project. Just trying to give you an idea of what it looks like. So my idea was to make it look like a stained glass window because I had Raymond Carver, and one of the main short stories that he wrote was The Cathedral. And when I think of cathedrals, I think of stained glass. So that's kind of where I was going with my quotes. And then I picked different quotes, 2 from The Cathedral and then 10 other ones from other stories. So I'm just going to read the quotes first and then we'll talk about them. And his being blind bothered him. My idea of blindness came from the movies. In the movies, the blind man was slow and never laughed. And this was the narrator from The Cathedral and the main man in the story. And then the other one from The Cathedral is, in those olden days, God was an important part of everyone's life. You can tell from the cathedral building. And kind of like where these came from in my idea of making the stained glass window was just how everyone's connected. And throughout the stories that I read by Raymond Carver, a lot of his stories, these people were looking for something. They were, either looking for love, or they were looking for contentment, or feeling connected, or understanding why people are different. Those things, they were all looking for something. But the church connects us, and that's kind of how I related it to my life, because, each little piece in the stained glass is so much more, and by itself it's just a broken piece of glass, but together we can be so much more. And that's kind of where I went with this story. So I'm going to read the other quotes. Listen to me, I'm just a baker, don't claim to be and I don't claim to be anything else. And this was the baker in A Small Good Thing. He didn't think he was anything else. He didn't think he was important, but he played an important role into this family's life and into their story. Another quote from the baker is, you have to eat and keep going. Eating is a good small thing in times like this. So, times are hard and things might be hard, but one small thing, one small little broken glass is eating, and keeping up that health to help through the hard times, even through this time as we're figuring out online school. Eating helps. Another story was a fact, and the narrator says, me, I eat and I eat, I can't gain, I say I'd like to gain, I say no, he says, if we had our choice, no, but there is no choice. That's kind of self-explanatory, but he didn't think he had any other choice. He thought his only purpose was to eat and gain weight, but that wasn't true. And then Wes from The Chef's House. Then I suppose we would have to be somebody else if that was the case. Somebody we're not. I don't have that kind of supposing left in me. We were born who we are. This is something Wes said to another person in this story. Chef's House was an interesting story. A lot about, I wish I was them, I wish this, and this. But that's why I thought that one was interesting and how it connected. The Viewfinder is kind of like The Cathedral, but this man doesn't have hands. And he said, except for the chrome hooks, he was an ordinary looking man of 50 or so. And that was the narrator. So kind of the same idea with the cathedral and the blind man, just putting presuppositions on these people as he was like, oh, I don't know what he is. Laura, from what we were talking about when we talk about love, I don't know anything about Ed or anything about the situation, but who can judge anyone else's situation? And I just thought that was very truthful about how we can't really judge because we all might be different, but we all somehow connect to the church. In this manner, the issue was decided. the narrator, the little things. This one, it was a very short story, and it was probably only a page or two. And it was really hard to find something, but I thought this was the last words, because this was what they decided over one small thing about the baby that they were fighting over. Just thought it ended abruptly, and it was important to the story. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going, and do the right things and the right things will happen. I just thought that was important as well to the story of the vitamins, just because of how, things are tough right now with the coronavirus and with doing school online, that, as we connect as a church, it's important. And so, yes, it might not have been the main thing in the story, but for my life, that's what stuck out right now. And then the last two. He told me he learned everything he knew from you, the narrator. I think that's important because, people do pour into other people's lives, and little pieces of different people's lives makes you. So if this one stained glass pitcher is me, each little stained glass and piece of broken glass is so much more and has been invested into my life. And then the last one is, well, I wish it was us, Bill from The Neighbors. Same idea as the chef's house. There's a lot of, I wish I was this person. And he was really, The Neighbors was keeping up with the Kardashians, or keeping up with the Joneses, and just that idea. So I think they all play into just, hey, be yourself, be who God created you to be. And look for that, because you are an individual piece of artwork.